So we now have the CEO and co-founder of Swisspod Technologies, who will talk about changing paradigms, Hyperloop as a vector for societal transformation. Please welcome Denis Tudor.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for being here. I think it's important that after this pandemic we managed to be in the same room, and let's see. So, some time ago, I read in a book that by early 20th century, the train industry, the railway industry, was invincible. At that moment, they were thinking that they're irreplaceable. They had a very strong position on the market. But after some time, the vehicles, the cars were built, but they didn't have an infrastructure. They didn't have roads, they didn't have highways. They built that, and the train industry looked helplessly in front of this vehicle industry, and at that moment the competition was raised. After some time, the airplanes came. So let's discuss a bit about Swisspod now, but please remember this story because I'm going to go back for this story. So we have been involved in different Hyperloop competitions organized by SpaceX and Elon Musk, where we successfully managed to launch the capsules. And I think it was important to get those awards and to get those prizes. But after a discussion with Elon Musk in the summer of 2018, when we discussed about philosophy, how to open a Hyperloop company and what the direction of such a company should be, we managed to create Swisspod, to create the Swisspod family. At that time, we were thinking that the most important fact is that we're participating in this student competition, and like the experience that you get there, it's amazing. But I think the most important one that I realized after some time is that I discovered to work with passionate people. I discovered to work with curious people. And I think this is what Swisspod is nowadays. I think Swisspod is our common values in the Swisspod team are passion and curiosity. I think one of the most important qualities a person can have in life is to stay curious. I think once you stay curious, you are trying to explore different fields that are important, and then you become creative. You become, you kind of combine what's on your left with what's on your right, and you manage to be innovative. So I think this is the definition of innovation that we've got so far, and I think it's important to know that this is what we are in Swisspod. We are a bunch of people, we're around 100 people now in Swisspod, that we share the common values such as curiosity and passion. And I think it's important for the future of transportation that such people are involved in Swisspod. So I think great people do great things, and we've incorporated the company late 2019. So we've got less than 2 years of operations, but in these 2 years of operations, we've got different advancements of the project, and I think we pushed forward the boundaries of technology. We created a lot of IP that we'll share publicly in the next few months. I think it's important for the entire Hyperloop industry that we stay on the same page when it comes to the objectives we have when we build that technology. So one of them, and I think it's important to mention, is how to create a technology that is capable to minimize the price of an infrastructure and to increase the efficiencies at high speeds. So for that, our first testing facility that we launched in July 2021, so a few months ago, is the one in Switzerland. It's called Limitless, and that one it's a circle. So our objective in there is to test the propulsion system for long distances and high speeds. I think those are the technological problems that we need to solve in the Hyperloop industry. And the question is how to do that in order to minimize the price of the infrastructure and to increase the efficiencies that will reduce the OPEX for a real case. One of other objectives that we've got in the Limitless project is to also evaluate the propulsion and the levitation system and to validate the energy consumption of the Hyperloop. Also, I think it's important to demonstrate the model on a real scale by a reduced scale prototype in order to save different investments that we've got in the company. This is a project which is in collaboration with EPFL and another local university from Switzerland, but also we're going to release soon all our partners, our national partners in Switzerland. This project is funded by the Swiss government entirely, and we've got the promise that they will support all our initiatives to bring the Hyperloop alive locally in Switzerland, but not only. The second testing facility that we've just announced a few weeks ago in the United States is in Colorado, in Pueblo. So we've launched together with TTCI and Pueblo-Plex our second testing facility for the full-scale model. This R&D process has two different phases. The first phase is for validating the propulsion system of a full-scale model. And at that point, we'll be around 70–80% ready to go to market, and that's going to happen by mid-2022. The second stage of this R&D project is to create an infrastructure that will allow a capsule to be tested for a real case, so more than 50 kilometers. This is a project that we are looking to fund with the local partners, and one important thing is that we have the direct support of two US senators from Colorado, Hickenlooper and Bennett. Both of them, they're directly involved in the development of this project, and they've publicly supported this initiative. Also, I want to thank for the local authorities of Pueblo that managed to bring us this testing facility in Colorado. And I think it's really important that we'll be ready soon with the technology, and we're going to be ready to go to market by the end of 2022 with an entire technology for cargo transportation, and then preparing our way to the passenger transportation. Also, I want to mention here something that, by only putting, I think it's important that we push the boundaries of Hyperloop, and before going to market, we will be 100% ready with the technology. I want to mention something that Swisspod is not a Hyperloop mandatory, not only a Hyperloop company, because just by putting a person on the moon, the humanity created prosperity and created a higher life quality. So on our way to the moonshot mission, I think we kind of became a platform that enabled technologies for high-speed transportation system, not only for Hyperloop. So it creates a new transportation paradigm. And what we do here is we envision a world with energy autonomous vehicles that are not linked to a certain infrastructure. And this model created us the opportunities to go to market also for the space industry. And I think it's important that all those subsystems that we build within Swisspod are interoperable, and we believe that this is a principle that the modern transportation should have. All the modes of transportation should be interconnected between, for instance, when you go out of your house, you take your bus, you go in a Hyperloop station, you take Hyperloop, and then you take the train and you arrive at the final destination. So what we cover in Swisspod is the entire value chain of technologies that are happening from the moment you exit the door. But after many years, the trains have radically improved and re-entered the competition at its true value. And what I wanted to say here, and remember the story that I started with, as fast as a plane, as convenient as a train. I invite you to imagine what it would be like if today's Hyperloop is the breakthrough that the transportation industry has been waiting for over 100 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Denis, for your keynote and also giving some insights that Swisspod Technologies is not only providing technology for Hyperloop, but also for other fields of disruption.